Now look, my high school football career didn't end like as I wanted to at all, but it was a journey for sure. From a freshman who just started playing football to a senior who finally proven himself. Unfortunately, I didn't get that fairy tale ending due to my hamstring injury, but I gotta be grateful because I'm in a position now where I'm able to continue my football career here in college. And after long days, long nights of thinking and trying to make that decision, I have finally decided where I want to go. And the school is SMU. Now, there are two main reasons why I chose the school. Well, first off, this team is one of the only schools that did not decide to, pull their offer after I got injured. So they still believed in me. And also, I didn't just come here alone. My boy Elijah, he decided to come here with me since, we built such a good friendship and wanted to continue the duo that we had in high school. Now, even though SMU still believed in me and let me come to the school, I had to prove that, I could still be that guy that I was in high school previous, before my hamstring injury, because they're banking on me being a good player even after that. And to be honest, I ain't got nothing to worry about, because right when my physical therapist told me that I can get back active, I did just that. Got right back in the lab so I could be prepared to fight for my starting position. And I was going all gas, no brakes, because I was up there working out with wide receivers like Malik Neighbors, CeeDee Lamb, and even my boy Elijah, he was out there with us. And speaking of Elijah though, him being a 5-star wide receiver and just being a consistent star throughout high school and balling out in the state championship, he already has a spot in the starting lineup secured. But for me, coach let me know that I'm gonna have to battle for my position. And with all the training I did during the summer and the offseason and everything, I should definitely be ready. And in this position battle, I most definitely showed that I was ready for the competition. Cause look, I was actually kind of surprised the way coach did the position battle. Instead of it being, like individual drills and stuff like that, it was just like we was out there just scrimmaging and just seeing who got open the most, who really caught the ball when they got it, who took advantage of their opportunities and everything. It was really just me and two other players that really wouldn't be on the field like that out there battling. And let's just say I looked way better than everybody else did. I mean, there was another guy who kind of was a standout, but he didn't look as good as me at all. Without a doubt, I was the best player out there. And to be honest, I don't even think it was close. Now, after doing pretty well in the position battle, coach decided that I should have the wide receiver 3 spot. So this means I'll be able to get in the game. And even though it seems crazy for a freshman who just came off an injury to already have the wide receiver 3 spot, it's just the fact that I completely dominated in that position battle, and a coach saw the improvement. He saw the potential that I could really have, just like my high school coach did. Now, unfortunately for me though, I won't be able to play at my natural position on the field, which is the slot. Because right now, the wide receiver core is looking like Elijah at wideout, senior Jordan Hudson in the slot, and me on the other side of Elijah. And even though this isn't like where I'm natural at, I gotta be happy that I'm at least on the field. And I just gotta make sure I take advantage of every single opportunity that I might get here. Now, heading into the first game of the season, versus Washington State, you already know my nerves was definitely nerving, but I will eventually have to shake them off, because when that ball comes my way, I gotta be able to do my job and make the play. And speaking of making the play, here in this first game, I really wasn't able to make many. See, I feel like I was open a lot in this game, and I felt like I had many opportunities to, make plays, but I just didn't get the ball. Well, not as much as I feel like I should have. It could be because, I'm just so used to getting targeted so much in high school, but here it was all Elijah and Jordan. And as frustrated as I wanted to be, since I really couldn't show out in my first game, I had to be happy for my boy Elijah, because he was balling out. Matter of fact, as a team, we were doing real good. I mean, for me in the fourth quarter, I had only 2 catches, 30 yards. But Elijah, good 8 catches, 160, a touchdown. And after this big touchdown right here, he ended up having over 200 yards in his college debut. And then he even hit the little dance I hit when I went viral last year. And I couldn't be nothing but happy for him, man, because, that's my boy. But deep down inside, I wanted to have a debut like that. And as bad as I wanted to confront the QB, I just decided to stay quiet. Because eventually, hopefully I start getting more targets. And so I just kept my head down, kept working hard. Because especially being a freshman, I just had to be patient and wait my turn. And so in the next game, I was hoping it was indeed my turn. But I would soon be having a similar game to the previous one. not really getting the ball. I mean, it didn't even look like our quarterback, Kevin Jennings, was even looking my way. And just to make matters even worse, it's just the fact that we were actually losing in this game. Like, we were moving the ball okay, but we could never really finish the drive. Like, every single drive was basically just a field goal. And so by halftime, we was down 21-9. But in the third quarter, we would end up finally having that spark. And guess what? I was that spark. I asked coach to just let me return the first kickoff of the second half because I really don't do that, but I want to do something in this game. He let me, and I did not disappoint because with just good enough blocking, I was able to have a crazy kick return and get into the end zone using my crazy speed. Now, that was our first touchdown of the game, and after that extra point, the score was 21-16. But unfortunately, it didn't look like our defense was feeling the momentum that we were feeling, on the offensive side. Because to be honest, that Vanderbilt offense was really looking unstoppable. And it's just funny to say that Vanderbilt, that's the team that we're losing to right now. And we was trying on offense, but it really wasn't moving the needle at all. So at this point, the game was over. And not only that, but the kick return that I got was really all I did, because I would only get targeted a couple of times, like off of bad screen play calls. And after this, I was real frustrated because last game this happened, we won. So it wasn't as much of a deal. But this time, we lost. And we lost by a little bit too. So I just know I could have done a lot more in this game if I just, got that ball. And due to that, it really made me feel away. And during our next practice, I let Kevin know how I felt. The best way I could, the calmest way possible. And thankfully, he didn't take it negatively. He told me that he'll look my way more next game. But in my head, though, I knew that saying and actually doing are completely different things. So I guess we're going to have to find out. 10 catches, 156 yards, and a touchdown. This was the stat line I put up in a game versus TCU. And I was kind of forced to go crazy because after I confronted Kevin about my targets, I feel like he might have taken it personally. Because in this game, it really felt like he was forcing the ball to me. And I had to make sure that no matter what, when, how the ball was coming, I had to take advantage. And I did. See, starting off the game, in the very first offensive drive, I could tell what timing he was on because he forced the life out of his first pass to me. And it was a streak route with a cornerback and a safety in the area. And to be honest, I was surprised he ain't care about if this could be a pick possibly. But it didn't end up being one anyways, because my 5'9" self somehow ended up coming down with the ball for my first catch of the game with many more to come. Another crazy play was when he forced a slant my way. And you would think since I'm so small that a linebacker would just knock my head off as soon as I would catch the ball. But that didn't happen at all because I was just way too quick to even be touched at the moment, as I was able to turn that forced slant into a big play that got us down the field. And plays like this what happened down the stretch of this game, as I don't think bro thought that, I was on that type timing, but hey, I'm like that. But now that he knows what timing I'm on, hopefully I start getting the ball a lot more throughout the season, because not only did I go crazy, but we win the game as well. So it wasn't all for nothing. And over the next couple games, I will continue to receive a good amount of targets. Not having games like that game, but more of what I thought I was going to have coming into the season. And not only that, but we were winning games too. At this point, we were like 3-1 and everything felt great. But just when I thought things were going a little bit too good, it always got to be something. And that something ended up being something that shouldn't have been a problem in the first place. And I can't blame nobody but myself, because it was something that I should have been paying way more attention to. And it just, caught up to me. And ended up being my classes. See, I was focusing like way too much on football, like so much on football to where basically everything else in my life was just pushed to the side. And I kind of forgot that I was, still in college and had to make sure that my grades were still solid. My grades even got to the point to where coach had to sit me while I got my stuff together, because I was almost going to become ineligible due to my grades, crazy enough. Now, this definitely frustrated me a little bit, but I knew it had to be done. And so I locked in on my schoolwork to the best of my ability. Basically just taking all the hard work that would have been into football back into the classroom. And it definitely helped. Now, unfortunately, I had to miss a couple of weeks due to my grades, but we were still playing well and winning games. It sucked though, cause now we're in the final stretch of the season and we're just trying to keep our playoff spot or, make the playoffs. Now, coming back, especially at this point in the season when we're just playing so well, I was hoping I would be able to, come back and continue playing the role that I was playing when I was playing, but I was in for a rude awakening because coach would tell me that the offense is looking good and he doesn't really want to make huge changes because it could really, mess up the momentum that they got right now, and the momentum's good. So he said there's no need to change what's going on, mainly because, we're playing well, and at this point we were 6-1. So I was demoted to wide receiver 5, and I couldn't get mad at coach about it though, because it was my fault for falling off in my studies. Now, on the bright side though, coach did tell me that I will still be able to impact the game, as he ended up putting me at punt returner and kick returner. Because with my attributes and quickness, there's no reason for me to just, sit on the bench all game. I have talent and I need to be on the field using them. And I can make something happen on special teams. And to be honest, I just had to be happy. Just happy that I'm able to at least see the field, because this could have went way worse. I could have just been on the bench for the rest of the season, not be able to show off my talents at all. And so for that, just got to be grateful. So now it's kind of funny the position I'm in, because it feels like I was just complaining about how many targets I was getting. But now I'm not even going to be able to be in the game as a wide receiver for the most part. But if it's one thing I'm going to do, it's going to be taking full advantage of the fact that I can still impact the game. And so now I had always been determined and motivated. But here in this game against California, I was as determined as it gets, because for some reason, I actually didn't mind, being able to show how good I can really be at being a pure kick and punt returner. As a matter of fact, in the opening kickoff, my first kick return of the game, I almost immediately broke it off for a touchdown. I broke a couple tackles and everything, but just that last person got me. But hey man, after this, I can already tell what type of game it's gonna be. My vision has gotten just so much better since high school, without a doubt. Not only that, but you would think that with my hamstring injury that I wouldn't, lost a step or whatever, but I didn't. I looked just like how I did back in high school. Explosiveness, quickness, speed, all that. And I was showing all that every time I returned the ball in this game. As a matter of fact, when we was up by a touchdown with just over 4 minutes left in the game, defense got a clutch stop. And this was my time to really make the game way harder for California. And it really sucked that I had to do this to, my own home state's, school. But hey, it is what it is. And crazy enough, even though I was having a crazy return game so far, they still kicked the ball right to me. Punted it right to me. And I had to make sure to make that punter feel dumb for that, as I looked untouchable on that return. And it's funny because you would think a punter would, understand that you don't want to kick the ball right to someone who's been killing it return-wise all game. But he did, and I know he regretted that one for sure. We were going to win this game, and man, the stats I put up were crazy. So crazy, it had the media talking. And for someone who normally doesn't get that much media coverage, this was great. It felt amazing. And this only boosted my motivation and dedication, as now I'm chasing the goal I never thought I would be chasing, the Jet Award, the best returner in the nation. And yeah, I might be starting pretty late, but I still got a chance. And I gotta go for it. 7-1 now for the season, meaning I only have about 4 games remaining to try to win that Jet Award. And even though I'm not up there in the race just yet, I'm ready for the grind, and I know how much it's gonna take. And here against Stanford, I'm looking to continue my momentum from last game. Now, if it's one thing that sucks about being a return man, it's the fact that when you balling, you actually get the ball less. So you don't really get as many touches to get that home run return. And I would soon come to that realization in this game. And it was kind of frustrating, especially in the first half. See, I could tell that the kicker and the punter had the same game plan. They already knew what timing I was on, because they was doing all they possibly could to keep that ball away from me. Because even though I do have a small sample size of what I have done in the return game, I still have shown that kicking the ball to me is a terrible idea. Well, at least for them. And lucky for me, the kicker forgot all about what he and the punter were doing in the first half. Kicked that thing right to me. And you already know he paid for it. finally getting to return a kick, and I took it to the crib. And it wasn't just any kick return either, because this would give us the lead at the beginning of the third quarter. Now, of course, after what I did, that was my first time and last time being able to return a kick in this game, because they weren't playing no games. We were going on to win this game, and I was actually satisfied with my game, even though I barely had any opportunities to do anything. Because, hey, at the end of the day, what else can I do other than my job? Now, with there just being 3 games left this season, us being ranked 7 and being 8-1, we got to make sure we get the job done. And don't lose any of these last 3 games, because right now in the conference, we're tied with Virginia Tech. I mean, other than them having a conference loss. So yeah, we ain't got no room to lose at all if we want to get to that conference championship. Now, first up is Syracuse. And it really doesn't matter whether they're having a good year or a bad year. And starting the game off, we're looking real good. And I know I haven't told y'all much about the offense, but man, Elijah and Jordan have been going crazy. Like, I thought it was going to be me and Elijah, just like in high school. But instead, it's them two. And that duo was unstoppable, especially in the first half. It looked like they was going buck for buck with each other, or I guess catch for catch. The defense wasn't doing amazing, but they weren't doing bad either. And don't worry about me. See, I was doing what I possibly could whenever I had the opportunity. Not getting that home run kick return that I always want to get every single time, but putting the offense in a pretty good place almost every single time I return the ball. And you would think we'd be blowing these dudes out the way that our offense was moving and everything. But Syracuse was still in the game. And with just 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it was a close one, because we was up 31-28. But they had the ball and had already made their way into the red zone. And at this point, if the defense could just get a stop, create a turnover or something, it would look real good for us, especially with how our offense was moving. There was no way they was going to stop them, but they would find the end zone easily. And with that touchdown, they would take the lead, making the score 31-35. And so it was either up to me, if they kick it my way at least, or the offense to take the lead back. And well, they kicked it right to me, very unexpectedly. And I had a pretty decent return, because now the offense could just burn the clock with no time left and hopefully do something with it. And that's exactly what it looked like they was doing, just running the ball, time running down. It was looking good up until the run stopped working and we was getting closer to the red zone. And because of that, we had to pass the ball. And we only needed 7 yards to get the first down. But instead of going for the quick yards, Kevin tried to go for the kill shot immediately. And I couldn't blame him, because field goal wasn't going to win the game. But the kill shot ended up being a bullet that fired backwards, because he threw it right to the defense. An interception. That marked our second loss of the season. But not only that, our first conference loss of the season as well. And with 2 games remaining, we won't be able to afford another loss. To be honest, we barely could afford that one. It's Wake Forest week now, and after a loss like we just had, when the game was just in our hands, we come into this game with so much energy, because we needed all the momentum that we could possibly have, since our final game of the season is against Miami. Cam Wardless Miami, but still, it's Miami. Now this game, we thought we was going to come out here guns blazing, but it looked like our guns were completely jammed. Well, at least Kevin's, because it looked like he forgot how to read defense, and it was hurting the offense real bad. And it's not like Elijah and Jordan weren't open. Kevin was just struggling against his Wake Forest defense, which is funny because their defense has not been good this season. But I'm going to be honest, I feel like it could be due to the way that he costed us the last game. Maybe it's taking a toll on his mental, but as much as coaches and players tried to get through to him, no one could. And he even had to be subbed out the game to try to get his mind right. But by the time he got taken out in the second quarter, the game was already in Wake Forest's hands, as they was up 21-0. And now, with this much offensive struggles, coach made a couple adjustments. He subbed in the backup quarterback and told me that I'm in as a wide receiver for a couple more times in this game, hoping that this could change the game. But before his adjustments could do anything, I was on a return. And in need for a huge play to be made, I was the guy to make it, returning the kick for a huge touchdown. And just when Wake Forest thought they was beating the life out of us, that touchdown would bring the life back into us. And as a matter of fact, the defense went out there, got a stop for us, while also leaving 2 minutes left in the second quarter to make something happen. And we did. After that return, I was ready for anything. And now that coach had me out there as a wide receiver, I was ready for show. First play of the drive reminded me of high school, because I got a jet touch pass, and I picked up a pretty good gain to start our drive's momentum. Now after that, Elijah and Jordan were doing the best they could do, getting open, making the QB's job easy, and it was. as the quarterback was able to find Elijah for a touchdown to make it a one-score game. Now, Wake Forest actually got the ball to start off in the second half, but our defense was all over them. Was able to get a stop, force a punt. And man, when I tell y'all my eyes lit up when I saw that ball coming my way, especially after what I did earlier in the game, and they definitely should have remembered what I did, because I would do something similar here, but even worse. It's just like my returnability was just on one here, as I was able to take this punt to the crib to tie the game up. And of course, I had to hit my little dance in the end zone. But after that, just when you would think that our comeback would have gave us the momentum to really take off in this game, quite the opposite happened. As now, for some reason, the backup quarterback started to play like trash. I don't know if it was because the defense started to change up their coverage, but the offense just got so much worse. And it was a situation where I just had to do what I could. And unfortunately, I couldn't take over the game. And we would lose this game to Wake Forest 35-24, taking once again another loss. Another loss that we just could not afford to have. It's Miami week, the last week of the regular season. And at this point, we're out of the conference championship. And our chances of being in the college football playoff are very slim. While losing in this game would definitely destroy our chances of making it. And we knew this. So coming in here, we got to give it all we got. And that's what we was doing to the best of our ability. I mean, all cylinders fired. We're trying as much as we can, but at the same time, Miami is too. And it was a real close game. And look, there's a lot at stake in this game. Because after our last game losing, we're no longer ranked. So this game could get us back ranked. Though it's probably not going to get us back into the college football playoff, but still, like, we at least want to end the season off ranked. But it was like in this game, there was no defense being played. It was just both teams scoring back and forth. And look, I was still out there at wide receiver. Now, our starting quarterback came back in. He's finally having that good game that we always seen him have. And he's been getting me the ball. As a matter of fact, it was almost like I was the wide receiver one in this game. And for some reason, it was Jordan this time not getting the ball. But Elijah throughout this season, though, he's always received the ball. He's always, he's been the receiver one over Jordan, surprisingly, even as a freshman. But the only thing that really matters about this game is the fact that me and Elijah look like just how we was in high school, that duo. And it would come in the last game of the season, funny enough. And instead of Elijah and Jordan going catch for catch, it was me and Elijah. And man, we was even going so crazy that at a point in time in the third quarter, Miami just couldn't keep up. Because I mean, it was 35-28. They had the ball, but couldn't score. And at that point, the game was over with. Because their defense wouldn't get no stops on us. And that one stop that we got was all we needed. Because I mean, literally, right after that, we got a big play touchdown that put the game away, basically, because we was up by 2 scores. And with the way our offense was looking, there was no way we was going to get stopped. We ended up winning this game, putting up like 50-something points. Like, yo, it was a crazy one. But even though we did win that game, like I said, we were unranked. Now, winning that game did get us back into the rankings, but we weren't in the college football playoff, and we was just looking at a bowl game now. And at this point, we're 9-3, but that don't matter, which really sucked. But hey, I guess it is what it is.